Hi guys, welcome to the first video of Who Cares Catch-Up Month. So this one, Wings by April and Pike, and it is about fairies, kind of sort of about fairies. I am tired. I'm also leaving on vacation in like 4 hours. So, and I have a guy coming to fix my dryer because my dryer looks like this. So I have very short period of time in which to do this video. I also have people in my house right now and I don't want them to make noises while I'm doing this, so I'm trying to do this as quickly as possible. So this book, Wings, is about a girl who starts growing a flower out of her back one morning. She thinks she's dying. There's a period of time where she thinks that this bump on her back is like cancer and she's freaking out. I'm gonna break the news to you right now, she's a fairy. But that's all that I can say. And she doesn't know what to do, and she only has like 1 or 2 friends. She has one really good friend and then one like acquaintance. There's this boy David that she likes, who's her like really good friend, and they have a class together and they like have lunch every day and they hang out and they study together and they do biology homework and you know they spend a lot of time together. And that's pretty much all I could tell you. The bad guys don't show up in this book until like way in there. The bad guy appears like he is a character in the story, but you don't know that he's like a really bad guy until like 3/4 of the way in. Like you really, I mean, you have to get like way down in here. Oh, I actually opened to the page where you find out he's a bad guy. That is how far. This is what's left of the book, and this is how much you've already read. It's bad. There comes a time where you're just like, what am I doing with my life? Why am I reading this? He should have been at least a little bit more evil earlier on in the story. So she grows these wings out of, well, it's a giant flower petal, but it kind of like looks like wings. So she grows these wings and doesn't immediately tell her parents. I'm sorry, but once I felt, like, at first it's just like a bump. And I don't understand why, like, if I felt that in the middle of the night when I was 15 or whatever, I would have run down the hall and be like, Daddy, what is it? I would have been freaking out. There comes a time when things have become, like, a health issue and you need to fix them, but, you know, whatever. But instead of telling her parents, she goes and tells this guy that she's only met, like, 2 weeks before, at the beginning of the school year, and confesses everything to him. Sounds like a brilliant plan. What? What? He has little to no experience. He doesn't have the same resources as a parent, and she shouldn't trust him as much as she trusts her parents. So to go with the villain thing, it was good that she had the ability to get over her fairy issues and that like learn that she's in fact a fairy. And it's good that she was able to come to terms with her winged self before she had to deal with this villain, but still, I liked the book, like the author's writing style. There was a lot of humor involved. Everything was described wonderfully. There were some beautiful pieces, especially when she describes certain outdoor settings. The main character, Laurel, cannot, like, she just loves outside, so it's stifling for her to be inside for long periods of time without sunlight, and mostly because she's a fairy. But so there's some very beautiful descriptions of the outside world. It was really weird because Laurel was like this girly girl, especially when she starts like liking David, and I feel like that should not have been her focus at all. Her focus should have been, I have a thing growing out of my back that we need to worry about, like, now, not, should I kiss him? That was really frustrating for me. Like, that was a theme throughout the whole story. There's one other part, it's not really a spoiler because we know that she's a fairy, but when she gets told that she's a fairy by a completely random stranger she just finds in the woods, doesn't believe him. Like, it's too outlandish for her to be a fairy, but the flower growing out of her back is okay. If you can believe that there is a flower growing out of your back and you have no other explanation for it, I would default to fairy. I would not be concerned about whether or not this guy was telling me the truth. I would just believe him right off the bat. But apart from the villain not appearing until much later and her weird personality issues, I didn't have a problem with this book. I actually enjoyed it quite a lot. So I give it a 4, it's like a 4.25, because I wouldn't say that it was a 4.5, like I wasn't that enthralled with the book, but giving it a 4 is kind of not worthy of it either. There is a sequel, it's part of a series, Spells, and it's also on my to-read list, but it's gonna take me forever to get to that. It is young adult fiction, but anyone over the age of like 13 or 12 could read this. They mention sex for the purposes of reproduction because she just doesn't understand how fairies reproduce in contrast to humans. If your kid has gone through the Growing and Changing program or sex education, they're fine. Maybe high school students would be better fitted for it because it is in a high school setting with 15-year-olds. I recommend it to anybody who has any interest in fairy things. I'm usually not a fairy person because most of the fairy stories are like crazy, weird, and outlandish, and they don't make sense. However, this one surpassed my expectations. I was actually kind of dreading reading this, but it was good. So anyone, even if you aren't usually interested in fairy books, this is a good start. Now I can finally put this book on the shelf of books that I have read. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe for more videos. Please like it if you liked it. Leave comments for any suggestions for books or book-to-movie adaptations, whatever you want me to do. I have links to my Goodreads, my blog. I don't even know. I have links to stuff down below. So see you later.